Alright, so real quick before we get into the video, this is just a quick disclaimer. I am not a doctor, I am not a scientist, I am not a health and fitness coach. I'm just a person that practice certain things, and the things that I practice for myself, I've gained results in doing. So these are just some of the things that I've seen that works for me. I've had erectile dysfunction before, so I know how it feels to be in that certain situation where you just and you don't know what's wrong. In order to have an erection, there has to be a lot of blood flow in the penis area. You'll feel that throbbing sensation, and all that is just the blood flowing to your penis, right? And then it stands up. So to have an erectile dysfunction, meaning that there's a lack of blood flow in your going to your penis. Number one, exercise regulates the blood flow throughout the whole entire body. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a few exercises to help regulate the blood flow down there in that area, just so you can better and do this better over time. A quick disclaimer, this is not gonna happen overnight, so if you're expecting a miracle or something to happen overnight and then you think you could just be right back at it tomorrow, no. And obviously you got to give up drinking alcohol and things like that, because that's limiting your blood flow throughout your body, right? So you definitely got to give up the alcohol. Number two, the foods, you got to be more careful on things that you're eating. You want testosterone boosting foods, so that's more meats and more proteins and things like that. No less soy and things like that. That's going to decrease your testosterone. Not only that, but you also need practice some form of celibacy, because when you constantly releasing down there in that area, it's not a buildup of semen or anything or any blood or anything like that. You're super active, so you need to give yourself down there some time to rest. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. I just wanted to come on here with a brief disclaimer. It's really only three things in this life that you need. You need God, you need focus, and you need to be disciplined. In the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, Solomon, one of the wisest men on earth, he often talks about how you got to discipline a child, right? Proverbs 13:24 tells us, whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. And what discipline means? The definition of discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correcting disobedience. So basically, it's an action, right? It's an action over and over and over, right? Men need discipline. You need to discipline yourself. I don't know if you know it, but like, if you ever seen any tattoo artists and you ask them where did they start or how did they get started, they often tell you they started on themselves, then they worked their way up to their friend, then they got their first client, then so forth and so forth. But I truly want to submit to you, in order for you to understand or master anything, you must start it with yourself. You must master yourself. Before you can master the world or conquer the world or do anything like that, you have to master yourself. Because a man who cannot control himself cannot control others. You can't control your children. You cannot control your wife. You cannot control your finances. You cannot control your body, right? Meaning you cannot be in shape. You cannot control anything in this world if you do not discipline yourself. As a man, you have no power if you have no discipline. A man's discipline is a man's power. A man's discipline is a man's power. Some of the best ways you can discipline yourself is by working out, reading that word, staying close to God, prayer time. These are good disciplinary habits. Working out is a good way to discipline yourself as a man, because it not only betters your mind, but you're making yourself do something that's good for you, although you don't want to do it. You're making yourself do this thing, right? It's the mastery of yourself. You controlling yourself. See, when you first come into the truth, God tells us that he does not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of self-control. And why does God give us self-control? I want you to think about something. If you can control yourself, you can pretty much control others because other people do not have self-control, right? And you can pretty much control the world around you as a man. It's very important for you to be on semen retention. Semen retention is a good self-control habit, a good self-control practice, celibacy, retaining, withstanding from sex, withstanding from, porn, withstanding from these apps and these sites and these OnlyFans, withstanding from the partying, the drinking. These are good disciplinary habits. This will better you overall as a man. You'll be unstoppable. Wait, before we continue today's video, subscribe to the channel, bro. Over 90% of the people that's watching this video right now are not subscribed. When you subscribe, you just tell YouTube that I deserve to be paid for these videos. I don't ask for a cash app. I don't need any of your money. I don't want anything from you but just the love and support. You already watching the video, you might as well subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and it's simple to do. Enjoy the rest of the video. I was just cutting the grass the other day. And like I said, if you don't know me or you haven't watched any of my videos, then you don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I talk to myself, and I'm pretty sure you do too. But I literally talk to myself, and I take pride in that, right? I take pride in the things that consider me to be weird now, if that makes any sense. I take pride in me and that outcast. I take pride in loving Jesus Christ because I literally don't want any friendship with the world, because I know majority of the world is corny, fake, liars, thieves, and so forth. I don't want to be friends with the world at all. But I say all that to say that I talk to myself, and I talk to myself out loud, right? As I'm cutting the grass, I'm speaking to myself, and a bunch of things were just running through my mind, right? I was thinking how there's so much competition between men on this earth. A man can see you doing good in your own lane and yet want to compete with you. It's weird. It is so weird. It's like, why are you competing with me when I'm competing with myself? I'm just trying to master myself, right? I'm just trying to better myself. But then I started to think on it, and it dawned on me. Nobody can compete with me. A man who doesn't hold his seed, a man who doesn't master himself, discipline himself, you can't discipline. I mean, you cannot compete with me. It's just no competing. You're not in my same lane and category. If you can't master yourself, how can you ever be better than me? How can you ever do more than me? If you cannot master yourself, you weak. A man who does not master himself has no. You're not even in the same boat as me. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious or to be all about myself and be arrogant, but I'm just saying, if you cannot master yourself, then are you even a man? How are you supposed to lead your household? How are you supposed to lead your children if you can't do it for yourself? See, a man's superpower is his discipline. Because if you discipline yourself enough now you can teach others around you which way to go, how to be disciplined on themselves, and you can ultimately lead them the right way. A man without discipline is a coward. He's soft. He's weak. He's a boy, essentially. He still needs protection. But a man with discipline is a leader, headstrong, and he is the protection. You understand me? So the best routes to go in this disciplinary type of life is to stay away from the drinking, the partying, the smoking, the things that's weakening you, bro. These things are weakening you. You going out every week, every weekend, consecutively, back to back to back to back. Some people are not consciously aware that this stuff was weakening them. And I can give you a couple examples. It's weakening your pockets. Every time you go out and spend money on pointless things, you spend money on a good time, the less money you have. And the less money you have, the less time you have. So you spending your money on a good time giving your time away because you have less time every time you spend your money. Money buys your freedom. Money buys your time back. You had to work consecutive hours to get this dollar bill just for you to waste it on a good time. And now you're limiting your time, right? You can no longer afford to have a good time if you spend it this weekend. See, right now, while we're young, we need to be building this good character and discipline. This can avoid a lot of heartbreak. This can avoid a lot of things, bro. This can ultimately help you escape a lot of things, bro. If you just lock in on yourself, hold your money, be disciplined with yourself, go on semen retention, show up to that gym every day, discipline. I gotta do it. Because if I don't do it, then who else go do it for me? And if I don't do it, then who else go lead my family in the future? If I'm not strong, who go be strong for my weak ones? See, this life is bigger than you, bruh. Can't just kick it. Not if you want to be a family man. You can't. Not if you want a son. Not if you want to lead your people to the glory. You cannot. You don't have time to waste. You can't just do things that you want to do because you're no longer doing them for yourself. You can't do it. Your action just doesn't affect you, bro. It affects everything around you. It affects the life that you live as a leader, as a man in today's society. Before I get out of here, I want to tell you one thing, right? That God is the leader above men, right? God is the male. God is the everything in this universe, but he's the leader above all men. Men is the leader over the wives, and the two of them, they lead their son, right? The mother is a nurturer, a good, caregiver, a good person for emotions and feelings, a good comforter, but the father is supposed to be a disciplinary person. He's supposed to discipline, provide that discipline that child needs, and ultimately lead and provide for his household. So knowing that your Father in heaven is above you, but you are above everything on this earth, I need you to start being disciplined and being harder on yourself and being a man. Now, with that being said, that's the end of this video. I thank everybody for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, bro. And I'm out. Peace.